This summer I opened up my commissions, and not only did I get to work on a lot of cool projects, I also got what every artist struggles with: freaking back pain. I swear to God, this whole summer I looked like Coraline's dad.
Yikes. Well, it wasn't all for nothing, because today I'll be bringing you guys along through the process of my biggest commission yet. Alright, this huge canvas is 36 by 24 inches, and so far it'll be the biggest oil painting I've ever done. My client wanted to explore the feeling of megalophobia, which is the fear of large objects or empty spaces. This phobia can bring many emotions that seem almost contradicting. It can be suffocating yet freeing at the same time, so you can imagine how hard it was for me to come up with ideas and sketches for this project. But with many back and forth emails, we finally decided on this concept. He then made some more adjustments to the composition and colors, and as soon as I knew it, I was ready to start sketching everything out on the canvas. My drawings always look pretty rough before I start painting. Oil paintings are very much a trust the process type of project, which is also just a nice way of saying it looks like shit until it's done. So just bear with me. I'm now starting my underlayer, which is watered down paint, sheer enough to still see my previous sketch, but colored enough so that when I start to actually paint, I won't have to work on a plain white surface. Ugh, no one likes to do that. That's disgusting. Also, make sure you use water mixable oils so you can actually achieve a watered down underlayer. Plus, they're a lot easier to clean up versus regular oil paints anyway. So yeah, underlayers are also a good way to figure out the depth and lighting of the overall painting. But again, this whole stage is kind of ugly. I'd say 70% of this commission was clouds, which was kind of out of my comfort zone, but I'm always up for a challenge. I found it easier to think of painting abstract shapes instead of focusing too much on how clouds should look. When you really break them down, they're just big puffy things in the air, so no need to stress by making them look too perfect. I also used some references I got off of Pinterest as extra guidance, cause gotta love Pinterest. A recurring technique that I used was having hard paint strokes around the edges of the cloud and softening the middle with a dry, fluffy brush. I also focused on the overall lighting because I wanted to give the effect that the clouds were glowing from inside, sort of like the moment during a lightning storm. I tried to remain aware of the lighting throughout the whole painting so everything would be consistent and lit up in that same stormy sense. As you can see, there are some really dark areas in these clouds, but I actually didn't use any black throughout this entire painting. Black is an extremely flat color that can easily mute the rest of your picture. So instead I used Prussian blue and dioxazine purple to create richness and dimension throughout my painting. If you want an even darker shade, mix a cool tone brown into the colors previously mentioned and you'll get a really nice shade of black that will complement the rest of your painting. Now onto my favorite part of the whole painting, the whales. When I first started getting into art, I would always draw animals, so it's nice to revisit that on a bigger scale. It's also fun to not have to worry about proportions like if you were to be painting or drawing a person. Obviously, if you look at my Instagram, you can tell I like to draw people, but in my opinion, drawing animals is a lot less stressful. With these whales, I changed their colors and I didn't blend the paint too much so I could keep lots of texture and have almost a strobe light effect caused by the bright clouds underneath them. If you look at some of my other paintings, I usually don't blend the colors too much. Not only because I like that stylized look, but I find that when I overblend paint, it can look overworked and muddy. It's super easy to overwork oil paints because they dry so slow. You can really get carried away. So it's super important to know when to stop messing around with a certain area. If you make a mistake, wait till it's dry or at least tacky, then go back and fix it later. As you can see with these whales, I used around 3 tones. I usually start with a medium, then go lighter or darker depending on what area I'm working on. I personally find this workflow to be the most efficient, and not only do I use it for my paintings, but also for my digital illustrations. I also had lots of fun with the lighthouse and the cliff, making them super bright due to the white cloud right behind them. As you can see, I had to use small brushes to get those details nice and precise. I just got them from Opus and they're actually the best. Their brushes tend to be expensive, but good quality brushes definitely make a big difference in your painting. I have to say, when I first bought this canvas, its size intimidated me. I also thought because I started this piece so late in the summer, I wouldn't be able to finish it before university started. But to my surprise, I was able to make lots of progress in a short amount of time, and ended up finishing my painting in only a couple of weeks, when usually a painting this size would have taken me about a couple of months. Here are my references that I used as guidance throughout this painting, and here's my digital rough copy made in Procreate that I had originally shown my client. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Enjoy the reveal.